Welcome to a very special episode of the Big Bottom Group Chat, where people stop being polite and start being real. I'm your host, John Moody, along with
Tony Paleo,
Steve Arajo.
And today we're joined by Nashville bassist Jaymi Millard. I got to stop that voice. It's a little too much.
I kind of liked it. I was going to say, can you do that for a while? That's nice.
Yeah.
I like the homage to the real world.
Yeah, you like that? I was thinking about.
That's beautiful. I love
it. And who are we brought to today, boys? We're brought to today by
sponsors.
Sponsors.
What are you holding there, Tony? You tell me.
Oh wait. Sorry. Hold on. Music area gig bags.
Yep.
Music area.
There we go.
We all love them. I know, John, you're remote right now, so you don't have yours, but you've got.
They are at home, safely tucking my basses away.
I have no food with me today in mind.
You don't have any Greek specialties that my buddy Frank Fakinos can.
Yeah. Hold on, let me just.
Or at least some mints.
So no mints and no baklava pulling out, right?
Nothing.
What about a Werther's? Would you keep Werther's in there?
Oh, why not?
So wait. How do you pronounce it, John?
Werther's?
I thought it was Werther's. So that must be a West Coast, East Coast thing. I like it. Maybe. No, I like that.
I mean, they're both delicious.
If you said it from Boston, it'd be Werther's. You know what I mean? There'd be no hard whatsoever, you know?
We need to get Werther's as a sponsor for this show because I love them.
You know, we can make a phone call and have people call.
Right.
People.
I mean, the worst thing they'd say is no. So.
Or never answer us and go.
Yeah.
What are these?
Italia straps
with us, you know, today too.
Italia straps. Go to italiastraps.com. Killer straps that all of us use.
Steve likes the adjustable one. Tony goes for the pre-length.
Yep. They're built to order. There's always a 2-for-1 deal, so you got to go on there and do a little search, but they generally always have a 2-for-1 deal, which is fantastic.
Fantastic straps. It's all I use exclusively.
And they take about, so they make them each to order. It takes about, how long did yours back east got there?
My God, I got mine from California in a week and a half.
Okay, yeah. So they're really quick. And they're in.
I mean, that's super fast.
Yeah. All right, and this is exciting, guys.
Yes, very much.
Sponsor. We have Golden State Coffee Roasters. Oh,
nice.
I actually just did a slow pour a little earlier. I'm a little jacked up right now on the caffeine. Can you guys?
That's fine.
It's usually but they have been around for a minute. They have a tasting room in Placentia, which is super close to G&L downtown.
Nice.
And and it's all this stuff is fresh roasted, and I'm actually going to send.
Can you tell us a little bit about those roasts, Steve?
Man, all right. So this is the Espresso Blend 1850. Has sweet tobacco, fragrant berry. I guess those are the flavor profile. But
that's a darker roast.
This was roasted June 18th, June 16th, and this one doesn't have a date. So, but they literally, roast this stuff daily, and they have a beautiful tasting room that's open to the public now after COVID and all that. But yeah,
right, for sure.
Bags, and they're our new sponsor. The other GoldenState.coffee is their website.
Oh, okay.
All right, GoldenState.coffee.
Yep, GoldenState.coffee. You might not be able to do that, but anyways, go there. Beautiful. Anyways, if you go there, if you go to the shop, and even if you go in, if you use the code BIGBOTTOM15, BIGBOTTOM15, that's a coupon extra savings code. I think it's 15% off. So you get a little
Big Bottom 15. All right.
Big Bottom 15. I like it.
Big Bottom 15. And like I said, I'm going to be sending you guys out this coffee. So next time you'll be able to try it and we'll be able to talk about it. But that's our new sponsor. I love these guys. Ross Lilabo is one of the managers there. Kind of works with them, he's one of the dudes there. Great bass player, fantastic bass player. He's actually a buddy with Tim LaFay. Those guys are all into coffee. And Ross is just a good dude, really awesome, and a killer bass player.
Oh, even better.
So even better. So we've got all the coffees with the bass and all that. So yeah, check them out, goldenstate.coffee, and it is the Golden State Roasters if you do a Google. So yeah. So there you go. And then and life check-in. How's everybody doing?
Good, man. Good,
Yeah?
good.
Cool.
My gym opens up July 6th, and I know there'll probably be some listeners going, "What are you doing going back to that Petri dish?" I don't want to get political or anything, but I'll be the first in line, ready to go back.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think they're keeping one of our gyms opened up over here, and they're, they sent out a big. I think
it seems everyone's really trying to do their part on that kind of stuff.
They're limiting people. You got to wear the mask. So I get it, man. So at least.
Speaking of that, Tony, I got a haircut this past week.
Yeah.
You did.
I did.
You look all handsome.
I know, right? I'm respectable now.
Was that the first one since the lockdown?
It was the first one since the beginning of March.
Wow.
Yep.
So you were hippie hair for a while.
I was getting because of how my colics are, I get that nice like Farrah Fawcett wave. So yeah, with that and this, I really wanted to go into work with a with like a short sleeve dress shirt and a little clip-on tie.
Yes.
And be like I came out of the 70s and not the good part of the 70s.
It's like born 70s though.
Right.
And kids out there, please Google Farrah Fawcett. She was beautiful. Anyways, yeah. For you kids, you millennials that don't know, look up Farrah Fawcett. So anyways, but that's awesome. Looking good, buddy.
Thanks, sir.
Yeah, good. Life is in Southern California kind of opening up.
Things are slowly opening up here in Massachusetts. I think this is the first day that a couple people could go into a restaurant or what have you. So,
yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
Good. All right, boys. Well, that was a fun one, man. Jaymi is good people. It was the first time I'd met
for sure.
Good dude.
Yeah.
Dude.
Funny as hell. Love the guy. I mean, he's a geek like us. It's awesome. I love that.
The record collection, dude. The vinyl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He's got a couple.
And if he's into something, he's into something. Yeah. And I think we can all, three of us can appreciate that.
Yes.
For sure.
I think so. So, all right, guys. Well, I'll kind of do a little sign off, I guess. So, yeah, Jaymi Millard, Jaymi, correct? Millard, Jaymi. And we'll put all his socials at the end. I'll put all his, all the places that you can find him. But yeah, fine gentlemen, cool people. So yeah, this is episode 10.
Episode 10. Wow, we're in the double digits.
Damn. So yeah, it was fun. All right, boys. Well, hey, and again, I'm not going to hang up on us. I'm just going to stop recording.
Right.
But, enjoy the Big Bottom, whether you're watching or listening. All podcast, all podcast platforms. So yeah, I'm Steve Arajo.
John Moody.
Tony Paleo.
We are the Big Bottom. Enjoy
Big Bottom.
Yeah. All right. Hold on, boys. Enjoy. Yeah. So Jaymi, where are you at in the country? Where do you live?
Nashville, Tennessee.
Nashville.
Steve, before you get, you're recording now, right?
I'm recording. Yeah.
I hear I was already saying shit. Okay, cool.
So what part are you, like Murfreesboro, Franklin, where we're at?
I am just south of Franklin.
Okay, very cool. So obviously you know Brian Barrett.
Of course.
Yeah, Brian's a good friend of mine. Howard Elgate, he just moved out there.
I do.
Yeah, and Tully Kennedy.
Of course.
And do you know Eric Halbig, guitar player, producer?
Name, yes. Face, maybe.
All right, cool. No, but that's awesome, man. So Nashville. And are things opening up now, gig-wise, playing-wise, stuff kind of, you're able to gig now? Or are there gigs in town?
Yes and no.
Okay.
There are some gigs in town that are popping up. Ironically, I don't play in town a whole lot.
Okay.
When I play, usually, the last time I played in town, and this is kind of crazy, the last time I played in town, I played at Bridgestone. So that's the big arena downtown.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So and that was a little bit of an adventure.
Yeah. That's cool. And what band was that with?
This was with a country rock guy named Ryan Weaver.
Okay. Is that your main gig?
It's one of them.
One of them. Yeah. Yeah, and you do a few several. Again, like I said, I'm not sure. So we'll let the people know, and I'm learning also. So
Yes.
you do the Ryan Weaver gig, and then what other gigs are you doing?
I do the Mark Slaughter band,
Nice.
and on occasion, when asked or when needed, I fill in and play for the band Slaughter.
Very cool. Nice.
So when Dana's unavailable or Dana's got something to do, cha-ching, there we are.
Very cool.
That
Nice.
must be a fun gig, yeah.
It really is.
And
I was hoping I was going to be on the same show with you last year at that Kiss Con,
That would have been fun.
in Indiana.
Yep.
I don't know who he had with them on bass.
They had the guys from Ace Frehley's band, which are they have a name here. They do a rock
the
thing they call
Talisman.
the Rock and Roll Residency. Yeah, the Talisman.
okay.
Yeah, those guys.
Yeah. Yeah, they're all cool.
Ryan and those guys.
Phil and those guys, yeah.
Do they live in Nashville? Does Ryan live in Nashville?
I think a good portion of them do. I'm not sure if all of them do. It's hard to say. Everybody moves around a lot, so it's hard to say.
It was quite the party that night.
I'm sure it was.
Unbelievable. It was like 1989 all over again or something. It was crazy.
All we need now is Aquanet for your hair.
Yeah. Dude,
Minus the Aquanet. I just say the booze and Italian food afterwards.
Nice.
Cannoli and some what?
And gabagool. Some gabagool.
Of
course.
Please.
So, Jaymi, have any of the dates with those bands been either reinstated, or do you have a tour schedule coming up again, or is that anything booked or not?
They're all pending right now still.
All right.
Yeah, those still kind of in the wings.
Got it. I'm sure as time progresses, I'm sure stuff will start trickling and dates.
Well, I've been doing a bunch of recording because I've got people who are looking for tracks. So they send me tracks and I sit here in this nice little spacious room and hit it.
Well, we're all about the recording, so we have to talk about that. We have to. Yep. So,
dude, we are nerds galore on that stuff.
I see. All right.
Yeah, but that's awesome, man. I'm glad, and like I said, I dig those Slaughter. That's a great gig, and can't wait to. Dude, when stuff starts happening, you're out in California. Please let me know. I want to come out. So
count on it.
Yeah,
count on it.
Definitely.
Just like when I go up to the Northeast, I have to go surfing.
Hell yeah! I mean,
see.
When I bought my house, like we had a shed, and I'm like, I go, Gina, find another place for the tools. She goes, why? I go, that's my surf shed. I have so many. Yeah, someone asked me the other day, how many boards you have? I said, I don't know.
Well, you just got a new one.
I did.
You got the gun log.
I got a gun log, yeah. I mean, I've got everything. I got a lot of rusties. I must have 9 or 10 rusties on low,
I have what you need for those.
What's on your shirt?
I have it. It's in the yard outside.
Oh my God, dude! I have 2 of them. Bad.
I have 2 of these.
Oh, you have 2 of those? Oh my gosh! Whoa!
Yeah, I have a purple camper bus and a white regular hardtop.
Oh hell yeah!
Now the purple bus, I need to tell you a story. You guys will dig this. If you're telling me about music and nerddom, this will nail it. All right, so the story goes, I got this thing. It's a '68 Westphalia, full camper inside, purple. And the guy that I got it from originally lived in between Sacramento and Frisco. And between him and 2 other dudes, they went to every Dead show from 81 to 94 in this bus.
Wow.
So there's stickers all over the inside and outside. They're all dated as to which years it went to what shows. So it's got legit tangible, do Italian. It's got legit a tangible Dead history.
That's amazing. Wow.
Yeah. So it's the real deal.
Man.
Now, did you ever find a roach in a weird place?
Tab of acid.
No, actually, the dude that I got it from, when he sold it to me, he said he cleared out all the secret compartments and everything, so it was clean.
Dude.
So yeah, it's been gone over with a fine-tooth comb. There is nothing in there but,
yeah,
stuff that's clean.
So that's you said it's a 68?
Yep.
And then what's the other one?
It's a 71.
Nice. Did you restore it yourself, or
Actually, the 68, because of the history, because every Volkswagen tells a story. Sometimes you don't get to hear them. I just happened to get to hear this story.
That's cool.
So I left it the way it is. Rust and all is still just like it was because it tells the story of the bus.
Nice.
And the other one, actually, I worked out a deal. I acquired 4 more. And then, dude, yeah, I'll tell you about that sometime. I had found this guy that was selling 4 of them. And so my younger son was jonesing hard because he liked mine.
Yeah.
So I said, I'll tell you what, I'll find you one. We'll restore it, do whatever, get it going. So the 71 was the best of the 4. Yeah. And so I basically, they were all full of parts. I sold off all the parts. I sold the other 3 buses, and we're working on his to make it kind of a cruiser rat.
I have everything I want in this world already, pretty much.
Except for that.
Except a decent bus. Like, don't you want this gear-wise? Don't you want that? I'm like, man, I've got everything I could possibly ever want, you know?
Yep.
I want a bus. That's the only, like, and it's not even like a ton of money or whatever. They're really not. It's just the one thing
They can be. They can be.
Yes.
Money. There was. I was just watching a show, and it was Iglesias, the comedian. He has a whole collection. He was showing his old garage. This was just like earlier today. I was just watching it. That's so funny that you mentioned that.
Yeah, he's got a multi-million-dollar collection of buses.
Yes, and he has one that's a fish tank.
Yes.
Fish tank. Like, no, I was just watching that earlier. He's awesome.
Yeah.
Love it. He's
Fluffy's Bus World. Yes, Fluffy's Bus World.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shout out. No, that's awesome, man. Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
So did you grow up in Nashville or around there? Because you said you surfed. Did you grow up on a coastline city?
Nope. I grew up in the heart of Chicago.
Wow. Okay.
Talk about culture shock.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Mm-hmm. Nice. And then
so big difference.
And the surfing bug just kind of
it goes along with everything else.
Nice. Nice.
You know, I still want to buy a school bus. That's imminent.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's very cool.
Every time I see, like, even like an MBTA bus in Boston, I go, that'll fit in my driveway.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, I'm one of those that I like old cars. I like old stuff. So, you know, it makes sense. I found a school bus that I totally dig. That's from like 1970.
Wow.
Pure. And I'm not much, I mean, I look like a hippie, right? But I mean, it's something I've always wanted. So, you know, we just do it.
That's cool.
That's hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
You know?
Yeah.
Dude. So tell me about the new bass.
Yes.
You want to see the new bass first? Or you want me to go back and pull up a couple that are sitting here next to me?
Whatever you choose, Jay.
I'll tell you what. Let me show you my main 3 hitters.
Okay.
All right. So we'll start from the standard.
Keep going.
Okay.
Turn it down.
This would be the Billy Sheehan Yamaha Attitude Limited 3.
Beautiful.
In basic black.
Nice.
Okay. This bass, actually, I got this one brand new from Yamaha early last year.
Okay.
And I used it on every slaughter date last year.
Nice.
So it went from new in the box to Road Warrior almost immediately.
Wow.
And so, I mean, I actually had this one. So if you ever see a picture of me standing in front of the big 11-foot Ampeg at NAMM, it's with this.
I've seen that actually.
This is it. I played this through the 11-foot Ampeg. I could have ruptured walls.
Or do you drop down a half step?
This is actually, all of these are half step down.
Okay.
Because for slaughter dates, that's what I was doing. For Mark's dates, I do that as well. Plus, you know, when we write stuff half down. So, you know, when we track new things, because there's new songs coming, and this is on it. Okay, so this has been the go-to for the last year. Can
you tell me about that pickup? I don't know why my screen's not coming to me when I speak for some reason, Steve. I don't know why, but
I'm looking at you.
Yeah, me
really?
too. Yeah, I am too.
Oh, funny, it's not switching on this end.
Yeah.
Jimmy, tell me about that neck pickup with the blades.
So this. Okay, so this is Now there's some, the absolute Yamaha geeks will tell you that it could either be a Yamaha pickup or a DiMarzio. I've heard both, and usually I get corrected if I say one or the other. So it's one or the other, whichever one it is.
Yeah.
It's a humbucker that basically kind of emulates the tone of a 60s Gibson mudbucker.
Yeah. EBO base.
Yep. So the EBO pickup is actually a little, I believe, higher gain than this thing.
Okay.
But I can dial this in. And what's really funny is, I don't know if anybody would think about this, but I was a diehard Rickenbacker guy for decades.
Okay.
Now, I'll say this in public. I've owned previously 167 Rickenbackers. I have a serial number list to prove it.
Wow.
Okay? Just saying. Over the years, I started when I was 16 with my first one, and I've had 166 more ever since.
Wow.
So I can take this pickup and I can almost dial in the front of a Rick.
That's amazing. That's awesome.
Almost.
Yeah.
Even though this is a humbucker and that's a single coil.
Mhm.
So, you know, I mean, Billy uses it for the ultra lows. I mean, and, you know, for his tone, the way he gets things going, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
And then this is the DiMarzio Willpower P. I mean, I'm not like a DiMarzio endorse guy, but I love these pickups. And it's just one of those things that if I've had other basses, if I try other high gain P bass pickups, they pale compared to these.
That's great.
How radically different is that from the Model 1 or the Model? Is it the Model 1 or the Model P?
So this would be for the Model P, and the Model 1 would be the humbucker.
The Model 1, okay, the Model P. So is it closer to the Model P? That
It's
humbucker?
hotter than the Model P. It's also scooped differently. The Model P has a different. The Model P was actually DiMarzio's first replacement pickup that they created for P basses, obviously. And it was the first actual, if I remember correctly, it's actually the first replacement Fender pickup, period. So they designed those to work, you know, to make the sound of the P bass and then just give it some juice. Well, this is juice plus steroids.
That's awesome. John's joining us, by the way, boys.
John.
John.
Bring on that dude. There he is.
Oh, there he is.
I don't see him.
Look at that guy.
Yep. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah,
I'm
man.
using.
Yes.
Yeah. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Cool.
Awesome.
John, we're just talking about Jaymi's Yamaha.
Oh,
Nice.
Now I got to hear that pickup because I like the Model P and the Model J. I like them, you know?
Pickups.
You should be able to find one of these somewhere up there where you are in a shop. Sit down and just wail on it.
Jaymi,
Yeah.
does that bass have the double outputs for each pickup? Like yeah, look at that. Very cool.
So the cool thing about this is you got double. You can go stereo out, and if you do it right, the front one goes for the mudbucker or the humbucker up front. The back one goes for the P bass pickup.
Good.
If you go mono, you go in here, and there it is. You got all pickups working.
That's cool. Nice. I mean,
So-
that actually brings you back to your Ricka sound, since you're such a Rickenbacker guy. It kind of gives you that same vibe, right? Wasn't that what Ricko sound? Wasn't that what they called it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, you got it. Yeah, it was a stereo split signal, and you run it to 2 amps, and you can do all kinds of insane stuff a la Getty and Chris Squire.
Dude, that's rad.
So, but yeah, Tony, you should, if you haven't tried one of these, you need to. I think it'll blow your doors off.
Wanting to try, you know, new stuff. I mean, I'm very happy with like what Nordstrand does for me, but I love trying like, oh, let me try this. You know, I mean, yeah, that's just my MO, you know.
Well, that's everybody's MO, because you see something and it's like, oh, what does that do? You know, because I remember, I'll tell you guys this, just a little piece of silliness. There was a guy that I know that I used to work with years ago that had the limited edition one, and he knew I was a diehard Rick guy, and he said, here, play this. And I played it. At the time, I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. So here I am, you know, 15 whatever years later, and I've got a rack full of them. You know, and I don't have any more Ricks.
Yeah. Oh, really? We lost Jaymi.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, there you
Right.
are. There you are.
Here we are.
So you got rid of all the Ricks.
Yeah, I got rid of all the Ricks. The last one I sold was black and white checkerboard. It was all completely modded out, and I believe it is now in the capable hands of Rick Nielsen.
Yeah.
Good hands. Those are good hands.
Yeah, because if you saw a picture of it, it looks like what you'd expect for Cheap Trick.
Sure. Yeah. That's
You
fun.
know. So that was the last one. That one stuck around a while.
Okay.
But I mean, these things just destroy everything in sight, and that's what I'm after.
That's right.
So I have to ask you, because they're slightly esoteric at the same time.
Yes.
When you go do like a fly out with like Slaughter or something, and you're
Mhm.
plugging in, and your backline's limited. I mean, I just from the experience we know this, right?
Yeah.
You've got like an Ampeg SVT or something like that back there,
Yep.
and it's like one output. Are you just using both pickups and plugging in and at the same time and not using the split out?
So here's the funny thing. One of the things that if you go listen to the Slaughter records, Dana's tone was very, very pronounced, and it was very much a P bass. So when I go out to do the Slaughter dates, when I did all the Slaughter dates last year, I would just use the Willpower pickup. I leave the Mudbucker off and just use this.
Oh.
And one thing FYI too, the way this thing is configured here, this is the volume for the humbucker. This is the tone for the humbucker, and this is the volume for the P. There is no tone knob on the P pickup. So it's wide open at all times.
That's interesting.
So if I'm going to use the humbucker, I'm going to use that to dial down the absolute snarl on the P bass pickup. That's simple.
That's cool.
I don't generally do that though.
Yeah. You go like I'm full bore. It's like it's the same thing with me. I'm usually like up, on a passive instrument.
Well, between this and the Tech 21 Doug pedal.
Oh yeah.
I'm good. So let me put this one down. Let me show you. You might, Tony, I know you've probably seen this one, and I'm sure John has, but I'm sure Steve hasn't. Brace yourself. This is attitude number 2.
Mm-hmm. I've seen that.
That's the winner.
Yes.
Dude, that's
okay. So,
gorgeous.
I mean,
wow.
It is. I had a guy swirl this thing. This used to be a black attitude. This was actually the first attitude I bought.
Wow, that's cool.
And the dudes, when I told him, what can you do for me in pink? There it is.
That's so badass. That's
So
gorgeous.
So this tells its own story.
That's cool.
So
well,
I have a thing for that bowling ball finishes. I like them actually.
That's awesome.
Really do.
Yeah.
Well, I learned a few things about this finish because the dude explained it to me. When people do these things, they usually use paint.
Mm-hmm.
When the guy who originally did Steve Vai's guitars started doing this, he didn't use paint. He used oil-based ink.
And then dip
Okay.
it. They dip it?
And then dipped it.
Yeah.
You have to dip it, and then you have to let it dry.
Yeah.
So this is oil-based ink.
And the only one like
it doesn't.
Yeah, and you can't replicate it, which is nice, right? It's like
no, it's a one of a kind.
That's
it's a one of a kind, and it doesn't fade. It doesn't fade like paint.
I love it. Dude, that's
so. Yeah. This one stays in drop tune. This one stays in E flat. It never goes above E flat.
Nice. It's nice to see, and there's a couple other basses, one that's coming out that I cannot talk about, but it's nice to see neck buckers that actually aren't so muddy, because I know the EBO that Gibson had it just was too much, and the attitude, and there's a couple other ones that actually it's a usable neck pickup, that just shoved way up there where it's nice, man. It cuts through enough, and it's not mud. It's actually
right.
So yeah, that's cool.
Yep.
I like those basses.
You got to figure the Mudbucker for the Gibson on the EBO was a 30K ohm pickup.
Okay.
I mean, that's pure, just let the strings glue to the pole pieces. You're talking magnetic pull that's massive.
Yeah.
These aren't quite that hot, unless you go play Billy's wife bass, which I have played a few times. More on that later. But because he lives close to me, he's so kind and such a cool guy. He's a very dear friend. And I've played every bass in his room. And it started with 2 pink ones. So
very cool.
Yeah, so this is the swirly attitude. Now let me put this back over here. The one that Tony is getting all excited about. I have to give you this is a special story on this guy. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so there it is.
You've got the vintage body style on that. That's what
right?
I like.
Style.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the BB. So what this actually is in the production model, this is actually the Yamaha BB714BS, I believe it is. And all that stands for is the 714 Billy Sheehan. So if you saw Eat 'em and Smile, or if you, that's right. Or if you've seen the videos for Yankee Rose and some of those where Billy is throwing around the pink Yamaha.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. That bass coupled with a pink P bass that DiMarzio built him in the 70s, which the whole neck is pink, everything on the thing is pink. Between the two of those were what got me going. And between them, for him and Mark King Level 42's JD in bright pink. Yeah. That was it for me. It's like, okay, we're on the colors, we're on the color wheel now. Yeah. So, but anyway, so what this is Yamaha made a production bass of these. They made them in like a lava red, a candy apple kind of red and black. And this one actually, from the way he explained it to me, was made in the custom shop. So this is kind of a special, so kind of thing. Yeah, it's actually a 2-off. Okay. The color of this bass is called rose blue, and I know it's hard to see probably on here, but if I move it past, you can see the screen behind it. It turns blue, and it's not because of the screen.
Okay.
Okay, so it
oh yeah.
See, so what it is Yamaha made the pink Yamaha BB, I forget what the number is on his, and they painted that one bass, and that was the only one they ever painted in that color. So as a surprise birthday present, when he gave this to me the other day, he said, I know how much you like that bass, so I had them make 2 more, one for you and one for me, matching. And they're the only 3 in existence in this color painted by Yamaha. Nice. So that's pretty much the story behind where it came from. And they did some cool stuff. I mean, they matched the headstock.
That's gorgeous.
The neck at the nut is like 1.5 or slightly smaller. So it's actually like a super skinny jazz bass, which compared to the Attitude is a telly bass. That's like a D-width Fender, the biggest you can get. 1 3/4. So this, it's like 1 3/4 or slightly larger.
Yeah. Okay.
So this is like playing a toothpick.
Yeah, exactly. Like a jazz. Yeah. Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, nice. Like playing a jazz. And so, and it has its own kind of uniqueness. It actually has an Attitude bridge on it, which I kind of noticed. And this actually, in case you haven't ever seen some of the stuff Billy does, if you notice the little cat, put it up here.
Yeah. That's right.
The little kitty.
Well, he has black cats, right?
He does.
Yeah.
He does. And the cat that inspired the sticker was Spooky. So if you ever hear him talking about Spooky was laid to rest not too long ago. Just she was ill. She was a sweet little kitty, and they had her for a long time. And so Spooky became the mascot. In remembrance of Spooky, we have Spooky here with us.
Nice.
So that's too cool.
I've always loved the BB, like that body style is just so great. It's just a great body style, man.
Yeah, and I mean it's a 4-bolt, and of course rear fed, but it's passive. Now the cool thing about this too is it's volume tone like a jazz bass. Okay. When I first picked it up, I went right here and said, okay, volume for the P bass pickup. Nope. Didn't do anything. Yeah. So I'm like, oh, okay. So it's basically set up like a jazz, only instead of having jazz, you have mud, you have humbucker. Nice. So
I love it. When did you get that one? You just got that one recently, right? That's your birthday?
Yeah, I got this I think it was a little less than 2 weeks ago.
Oh, wow. So cool. Nice.
Yeah.
Nerds, I love it.
I love it. So rad.
So I don't have to do too much to it. I dialed in the action a little bit. Yeah. And I'm waiting on some strings. But
I know.
I mean, you can just get in line with everybody else.
I know somebody we can, get you in touch with in case what's his name doesn't no.
Well, see the thing is this is the reason why.
Yes. Yeah.
Bravo. Tell us about those, Jaymi. Tell us about them.
All right. So John very kindly listened to me, which some people do and some don't. And I got to give him props for that. So basically what we did was, and John may speak to this a little differently as well, there was a set of strings that I really liked, and some of the situational stuff with it became questionable. And I asked John if they could make at GHS, if they could make a set of strings for me that would be very similar, very springy and very loose, because I play light gauge. So these are actually 40 to 100 with a 54D and a 74A.
Oh, wow. Oh.
Okay. And again, for the manufacturing process part, John can explain probably better than I. But it's like, but they have a certain snap that a lot of the other strings I've tried over the years just don't have, and they last a long time. So
steel, what are they?
They're nickel plate.
They're nickels.
Cool.
I think the big thing is that the core diameters are much smaller than what you would think, and that's where Jaymi gets the springiness from them.
Interesting. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Show the package one more time, Jaymi, and people can and those are available
when John gets around to it.
They're out.
What's that?
And right now they're out, and that's been the problem, is that trying to get anything else in right now is.
But eventually people can kind of look.
Oh yeah, they'll be able to go on the website and everything, and get with Jaymi, and
I
so.
love it, man. That's rad. Nice.
Yep. So, and even got pink silk.
Mm-hmm.
So I know it's probably hard to see. Let me put this one back down, but it's probably hard to see. But on these.
Oh yeah.
There you go. Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm a fan. We're all fans of pink because here's a Tsunami pink cable.
Yep.
Pink and purple are just badass colors, man. They're just great.
Well, you know,
referred to as the wanker, the pink wanker is what they're.
That's true.
Show me yours, I'll show you.
Woohoo! Yeah.
Yeah.
Plug me, baby.
Exactly.
That's right.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's rad, man. And so you're a Yamaha artist. You've been a Yamaha artist, or are you, or work for them?
So I don't know is that I'm
not work for
like,
them. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I don't work for them, but I get special things.
Good.
And you know, I pretty much parked with Yamaha for like the last 2-3 years, and then on top of that, I've been an Ampeg artist for the last 4 years.
And Dino.
And you know,
yep.
It just all goes together.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
That's a perfect match. So you with these companies before they merged together?
Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah, I started with Ampeg. I mean, I've owned Ampeg since I was 18.
Okay.
And that's a good long time.
Yeah.
So, you know.
2 years, 3 years.
Now you're just like,
yeah.
Dino, I need.
Yeah. Hey, Dino, I'm going to send you a cigar, and I need a little PF 800, blah, 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 blah. Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah.
So you
Love Dino. Love Dino.
He's the best. You come up here, you can two birds, one stone, man. You know, he's 30 miles from me. So
when he's in town.
Yeah.
When he's home. Yeah.
So I have a question, Jaymi. So doing the Ampeg stuff, do you have one of the old Ampeg DIs? They don't make them anymore. I was just wondering.
You mean the Scrambler DI?
Yeah, I think that's the yes. You have one of those? Nice.
I do. It's on the floor. Yep, it's right down there.
Obaid Khan was one of the guys that I think helped design it, and he's doing Khan Audio, and I think he worked on that DI.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fantastic, and they don't make it anymore. They need to.
Yeah, I think I got one of the last ones. As a matter of fact, Dino sent it to me
because
when I was starting to do a lot of road dates, you know, a lot of times when I do a road date, there's backline, so I don't have to go schlepping gear.
Yeah.
And you know, on the rare occasion that there was not an SVT, they would saddle me with something that was GK or something else that was cool.
Yeah.
But I have a propensity to blow up amplifiers. There's 3 brands that I probably shouldn't mention that I have smoked literally. And, you know, I think one of them is still majorly popular. Actually, I think 2 of them are now that I ponder. But I literally lit them up. And it's like, well, these aren't going to get it done.
Yeah.
So
you can tell us on the B reel later on. You know.
Yeah, I'll tell you the story later. Yeah.
But that DI is great because you can go in DI, and the through is affected, right? The through is affected, so you can go into an amp and you basically have close to an SVT Ampeg-ish sound. So yeah.
And that was the point. That's why I got it when Dino and I were talking about it years ago.
Yeah.
It was because if I had something else, I know that I could take this and I could roll it and I would have the sound of the SVT regardless of what my front end was.
Nice.
So.
Yeah, I need to get one of those. I need to hunt one down one of these days.
We
You
do
can
the
still
DI
find them.
dork thing a lot. We like do all the comparisons and so forth, and you know, it's, I don't even know why, man. We just go into it, you know.
Well, because you know this is what we do. This is our life. This is our life.
I mean,
Yeah,
my
pretty much.
strong thing is like, I had this conversation with someone recently on Facebook. I'm like, don't chintz out on what 95% of the people are going to hear is that little box, not that monitor behind you, not that, you know, whatever, fill in the blank stack, you know, behind you. They're hearing that little box. Give them the best possible sound they possibly can. You know?
Yeah.
So there's two theories there too. So I agree with you. The Ampeg box is literally, you just sound like the front end of an SVT that's cooking. And then you add the scrambler piece in and it gives you more fur.
Yeah.
The other one, in my opinion, since we're geeking out, I am actually doing a video series between the Doug Pinnick pedal and the Steve Harris pedal, both made by Tech 21.
Yeah.
And I've got one more to finish for the Steve Harris. I took a 65 P bass and John sent me some flats and I threw the GHS flats on it and I start doing the gallop. You know, we're playing Run to the Hills, you know, because I wanted to hear what the whole point of the thing to me was the guy at Tech 21, his name is John, he designed the presets. And it's like, okay, if I am dialing in that preset and I have a Stingray 5, let's say, or a modulus, or pick another bass, what is it going to sound like? And that's what I see a lot of people doing video reviews where they're using, you know, whatever their favorite bass is, and it's totally cool. I went with the idea that if I'm going to try this, I'm going to do it. I'm going to set it up as close to what the original sound is implying. Mm-hmm. So I've got one out there that's the Phil Lynott, the Thin Lizzy sound, and I whipped out the trusty pick, put the flat ones on the 65, and dialed in the P bass, and it's almost, aside from Phil's hands and his technique, the sound is pretty close, you know. And then I had a Rick that I borrowed. Speaking of Ricks, so I had a Rick that I borrowed, and I did a Roger Glover deal with that, and then came back to the P bass to do a Geezer Butler kind of tone, because those are some of the presets that they had in the manual for the pedal. And then last but not least, the Steve Harris sound. So, I mean, the bass itself is not, you know, it's close to what, you know, it's a P bass, but P bass with flats. And then this thing had Rio Grande, Muy Grande pickups in it, as opposed to like the Steve Harris Seymours or that kind of thing. But it's pretty convincing. So
people listening and watching, where is that on Tech 21's YouTube, or where can they find that? Or
they can find, well, actually on my YouTube, it's youtube.com/bass Jaymi, BASSJAYMI, all one word.
Okay. At the end, I'll tag it too, but just so people listening, they can pause it. So bass Jaymi, JAYMI on YouTube. Yep. Okay, cool.
Yeah, because I think I've got 100 and something different bass videos. Nice. I'm approaching the million hitter. And it's like, that's pretty rad.
Dude, that's awesome, man. And dude, not enough fucking Phil Lynott shit, man. God, one of the all-time. What do you got? You got some Jailbreak? You have a.
Let me see.
Let's see.
So you're talking about this?
Hell yeah!
Ooh, okay. See, John, you missed the vinyl wall, but give me a second here. Wait a second. Oh, and then of course, this is a must.
Oh, dude.
Okay.
I mean, just how fantastic was Phil, man?
Phil was amazing.
One of my favorite, and that voice. What the hell? Oh, dude. Damn.
Okay. Yeah, we got a few things. So for John's benefit, here you go.
I mean, I follow you on Instagram enough, Jaymi, so I've seen the wall.
Yeah,
but
there you go.
For us and the people. And the,
Right.
the maybe 2 people that'll, no, I'm just kidding. A couple of people that'll watch this and listen. No, but that's rad, dude.
I mean, this goes, just so you, this hits every Facebook group. This goes on Talk Bass.
Oh yeah.
You know,
It's all good.
And
It's all good.
anybody you're endorsing, like this will go on the MPEG,
Oh, yeah.
Yamaha, and Tech 21 sites as well. So,
All right, so okay, so we're on recording. What do you use recording wise?
As far as like a signal chain or
DAW, like DAW, what do you use? And
Cubase.
Cubase. Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah. Nashville is a Pro Tools town, but Cubase works for me.
okay. All right.
And I mean, easy to translate.
Yeah. What and interface wise, what are you using?
Right now I'm using an M Audio.
Great.
Actually, it's old school, and I'm about to bump up, get a little Scarlet, shall we say?
Yeah. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
Yeah. Other than that, I mean, the basic simplified signal chain for me is either the Ampeg DI or the Doug pedal.
Cool.
Right into that, and then I just record it right into Cubase like that. I don't put anything else on it, especially if I'm sending out a track, because I off goes the compressor, off goes all the stuff except for the snarl and the stuff that makes you want to, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
does
it's
that
pretty
Doug
simple.
pedal have an XLR out?
It does.
Okay.
I mean, so it's got built-in tuner, and of course it's got an XLR out, and you can dial in all kinds of crazy stuff with it. You know, I talked to Doug at NAMM last time I went, and we were talking about it because he knows that I use it so much. And he's like, "Did you get a good sound dialed in?" I said, "Dude, I've got a killer sound dialed in. It's not quite you, it's me." And he's like, "That's what I like to hear."
That's cool.
Okay. So yeah.
All right. And then so DI is usually the Ampeg is your direct box going in, or your Pinnacle pedal. And the DI is, so Tech 21 has actually, their DIs are really good. I mean, from
they are
to the Para DI to all those. It's surprising that it's a little pedal that has such a good sounding DI.
I mean, I was using the Q strip for a while.
I love the Q strip.
Yeah.
Yep. Q strip is good.
So good. Yeah, that has all the ins, all the outs. I mean, well, especially for Tony. Tony needs all these weird outs.
Wow. Okay.
The had it. The multiple outs, I should say.
There you go.
I'd like to have a clean throughput out.
I like to give Tony
unaffected throughput out on a DI.
Yeah.
So I can go to my back line, like there's no DI, like it's not colored, and sending, you know, obviously an XLR to the front of the house. So it's not too weird.
No, it's not weird. I'm just giving you shit. But I like the Q strip. Q strip is good.
The Q strip does that feature, has that.
Yeah,
it does. It does. I've used Sans amps for 25 years.
Can't go wrong. Yeah.
I had some of the original ones because, you know, again, if you're, and I'll for the guys who are, and gals who are going to hear this, who will probably jump me for it later. If you're a diehard Rush fan, you're a Rick guy. And what do you do? What did you want to hear when you had a Rick? You either wanted to hear Chris Squire or Getty.
Yeah, that's
and
it.
How do you do that without going back to the 70s rig that has all the Furman EQs and all the other, you know, stuff that Getty used to make that stereo signal that used to just kill me when I was younger.
So good.
So the Sans amp was the first thing I got that really could get me dialed in closer with a Rick. And I mean, I've just never walked away from it.
Yeah.
So, you know, up until I think about a year and a half ago, I retired the original Sans amp, which was the one they made before it had the mid-cut and boost. Yeah. It was one of the original ones, and I think it actually kind of, it's over. So, you know, but it lasted all those years.
Yeah. It lived a good life. There you go.
It did. It did. Many a bar floor, many a concert hall floor.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great. Yes, that's really good. I like hearing about, like, so do you bring a pedal board on tour with you?
Here's the funny thing. You know, these Tech 21, let me show you this. These Tech 21 pedals, they come in this little metal box.
Yeah.
So this metal box with the pedal in it goes in my gig bag or in my suitcase, and I'm ready to go.
That's the pedal box.
That's it.
Mm-hmm. That's it. That's all it takes is this, you know? And so I don't have to carry a board. I don't have to do, you know, go around and get the little micro mini board or whatever and try to, you know, all I have to do is just take a couple of cables and take the wireless unit and boom, there it is.
I'm a little higher maintenance than that.
Little.
Just a little. Oh, okay.
John, I can sit. You stop it right there.
Can't even joke about that.
I'm so overt, and John's just kind of like, Jamie, what wireless are you using? Are you using one of the little like Line 6 ones that just came out, or what? Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Nice.
So this is actually, I got to remember what it is because I haven't had it on this.
Yeah.
It is a Shure.
Oh, it's a Shure.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
So, and this is, it just has the floor transmitter.
Mm-hmm.
So all I have to do basically, and this thing has a little cylindrical battery that you can run, either plug into the side of this pack, and it charges the battery with like almost like an Android phone cord, or just plug it into the wall. But the battery comes out, and some of the bigger Shure units have a setup where, you know, so it's like this is the receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. Yeah.
So this is the let's see, what is this?
And that's a Shure, huh? That's cool.
Yeah, it's a GLX D6 is what it says.
And it's been pretty good, really reliable.
Yeah, and it has a good reach. So in other words, if I'm standing, you know, if I put that down in front of the back line with the Doug pedal or whatever, and I turn it on and I go walking, I can jump into the crowd and go back about 100 feet before it starts to give me lag.
Damn, that's great. That's great.
So, which is perfect, you know.
There's other, I know the Line 6 makes one, the GS10, I think, and I'm just kind of curious. But that one, I know that if you go behind a rig, sometimes the signal, yeah, I don't know. Signal is kind of a little bit, just, you know, you got to be a little close. So it's nice to hear that the Shure, you can actually really.
You don't feel like a low end drop or anything like that, or you know?
Not with, especially with this setup, because I mean, the setup for the slaughter stage has a pair of SVTs, one on each side of the drum set, and then a wall of Marshalls going out from there. So I can go from side to side. Last year, this is what I did. I ran side to side, and on occasion, jump out front. No loss of low end.
No latency.
Nothing.
Just
No.
there. Great.
Yeah, it was on. I was really impressed because I had an older Shure in one of those frequencies that's no longer allowed, and you know, so this it nails it, and it's like, okay, simple gear setup.
Yeah, I like it. Very cool.
Less to carry, less to be concerned about, a lot less of those little patch cables that jack you up between pedals.
Yeah. That's very cool. Nice.
No,
Yeah.
that's good. That's good. It's good to hear. Yeah.
Any,
What do you guys got planned for 21? Do you guys got some stuff shooting out for like next year when things are a little bit more mellower?
That depends. I mean, that's not up to me. Usually it's just, hey, can you go do blip? Sure. You know, I make arrangements, we go do it. Sometimes it's impromptu, sometimes it's planned. Most times it's impromptu.
Any vintage basses in your arsenal? You said you had a 65P, or do you just kind of use the Yamahas or anything in your? Yeah.
I pretty much use the Yamahas for everything.
Okay. Cool.
And I mean, just it's the craziest thing because, you know, the P bass and the Jazz are the standards, obviously. You know, so when we were all growing up, what was it? It was 4 basses. It was the P bass, the Jazz bass, the Stingray, and the Rick. And then if you want to add the Gibson in, you could do that too. You know, those were the sounds that everybody went after. And, you know, it's great to start there and then just kind of massage your way forward. And right these days, I still love a really battered P bass. If something that's been through the war, not something that's been done in the laboratory. And, you know, but price-wise, I don't want to spend that much for one. Yeah. And if I can get that same tone out of these, which I pretty much do, because I'm looking for tone that kind of rips your face off anyway, why I'm not going to bother with vintage anymore.
Yeah, cool. That's
so.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I got rid of all my vintage stuff as well, man. I just don't have it. Like I kind of like, you know, I had a 74 Jazz bass, you know, stuff like that. 76, all gone, you know.
Yep.
I was a huge Jazz bass, not like you with Rick's. I don't know how many G's I had.
I don't think anybody can really compare with the love affair that Jaymi had with the Ricks, with 100 and how many? 69, 107?
167. I told that to Ben Hall, who's now running production last NAMM. I told him, I said, you know, you probably can say, and I can say this without any arrogance or any of that stupidity, you can't name me one artist who's had as many of your basses as I've had.
Yeah.
And he couldn't. So, you know, I've had every color you can imagine, but here again, I'm kind of on hiatus because it right now it's not what I need to use. So.
Did you ever have the double neck?
The Rick, no. I did have a double neck, and I think Tony and John can tell you about that one.
Nice.
It was pink.
Oh, of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
And it was handmade by a guy in Michigan, and it had double P's for both necks.
Oh, very cool. Okay.
Mhm.
I set it up like an old BC Rich.
Okay.
And so I put Willpower's all 4 positions. It was
double
brutal.
P is powerful sounding, unique sounding instrument, you know?
Absolutely.
I love double P's.
I picked up an Eagle this year just for fun. Like an older, cheaper one.
Yeah.
I had it revamped with DiMaggio's just to kind of keep it like the way it is, you know?
Of course.
And it's very thick sounding. It's very thick.
Yeah, that's if I'm given a pickup configuration of choice, that's it. The double Ps,
really?
The double Ps, because I had Fenders years ago that people had routed for extra Ps, and I mean they weighed a ton. They were a metric ton, literally. But double P and a P bass, I mean, so think about where you drop the standard pickup in the guard, and then on the edge of the guard between the bridge, there's the other one. Dial that thing up, it'll kill you.
Yeah.
Have you played with like any other companies like Bartolini or Nordstrand or any of those guys? Well,
I've tried Bartolini's. They're too clean for what I need. They're crisp,
wow.
and they're kind of. Everybody has their pickup preference. The DiMarzios have always worked for me because they're more raw sounding to me, to my ear.
They have a little hair to them, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I like a little hair, so you know. So it's like.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's okay. The Bartolini's just when they first I think it was probably in the late 80s or early 90s. I had a 75P with Bartolini P&Js with one of their B something preamps in it, and it went from being an aggressive P bass to something I couldn't handle because it was too clean. It was like shimmery and shiny, and it's amazing, but I couldn't use it.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much killed it for me ever since.
Yeah. I mean, it has its sound. They have their sound. It just
Absolutely.
That's what it is. Yeah.
So then Carrie's stuff would probably be really clean for you. I think it might be.
Yeah,
the Bartolini.
possibly. I mean, I like what he's doing. I mean, and at one time we were talking about sending me that Rick pickup to put in the front of one of the Ricks, and the Ricks didn't last. By the time he got it together, I had gotten rid of all the Ricks. So, you know, I mean, I think he's doing good stuff. I just don't know. There's not enough fur on those things for me. I need them furry, hairy, nasty, you know.
You know
aggressive.
what I noticed that what has a little bit of the most is what I'm using is the big singles in series. I think they get a little, you know, they get a little hairy, and the lower mids boost up a little bit.
And I have something that I should send something out to you, but this is.
There you go.
So, that's a GNL Matador.
Now you just need these.
No, you need these.
Those are the MFD ones.
These are MFD. These are the MFD magnetic field design pickups.
Nice.
I need to get you some.
He would probably like it because he likes hairy,
It's
gnarly.
got fucking hair for days. It's crazy. The MFDs are just one of those.
They're ceramic as well.
They're ceramic.
Nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a big magnet, and these actually were custom wound for me, but they were kind of Leo's last design. That's what's in those the L2500s.
Okay.
You know, the L2000 and the M series, but we're coming out with our pickup line, which is the magnetic field design. We're going to do J's and P's, but the Matador has a double P, and I should send you some out because these guys have all tried them, and they've got. This is my main bass. Like I don't use any other bass other than this one.
Yeah.
So, anyways, yeah, double P and the MFDs are just. They have this thing to them, and I got a Jazz with the prototype. So, but what were those that you were showing me?
These are Model P. These are DiMarzio Willpower Ps.
Now those are probably ceramic too, I think, right? Or are they?
You can see. Look at the poles.
Yeah. Oh,
This is.
right. I think those are, sorry, turn them around. Let's see the other side. Okay, it's covered up. I think each one of those lines, are those the magnets on the bottom?
Yep.
So those are, I think those are bar magnets, kind of the same concept as the MFD, because MFDs have that ceramic magnet. So yeah, that's going to be.
I mean, the Model Ps, they're ceramic.
Yeah.
You know, I think
So
that's-
this is the willpower. So this is what's in the attitude bases.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Those are great, man. Nice.
And these pickups have been sitting here a while because they came out of I had a deal years ago with a company called Bluesman Vintage.
Oh yeah. I know.
And
Oh yeah.
John.
Yeah.
So John made me a pink P bass, which Andy Irvine now has. Long story. And I traded it for a Rick. Anyway, so Andy didn't want these. I'm like, send them back. So these came out of the pink P bass, and it actually was a pink P with a jazz neck, with a mudbucker with a Model 1 at the front.
So those pickups need a home, dude. You need to put them in a bass.
I'm working on it.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. There
There's
will
always
probably
one
be
in the
another.
progress, right?
There'll probably be another Yamaha sneaking in here that's all battered and beat up. That'll go through a pink transformation,
Yeah.
and it'll get those pickups.
Nice.
I'm holding them off just in case.
Cool. Very cool.
Jamie, do you got the information who did the dip?
You're gonna
the
say
ink
hi?
dip on your pink bass?
Hi guys.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey
Where's
there.
my dad?
Hey.
Hi, Dad.
How you doing, Dad?
How are you, sir?
Yep.
Asking your opinion.
They
I'm
want to know how you're
reading your
doing.
shirt.
I'm doing well.
I
Happy belated Father's
like
Day.
the shirt.
Mr. Moody.
Happy belated Father's Day.
Yeah, happy belated, Mr. Moody. I like his shirt.
Oh yeah.
Dude, that's awesome.
Jamie, you inspire me.
Hey, I told you the whole family's up here. It
I
wasn't a
know.
lie.
I want to show you.
I know, John, you're on vacation. How's it going over there?
It's good. I mean, if you can see, do not adjust your screen. I am that red right now. So we had a good day on the lake yesterday, and
Well, you've got the
Yeah.
excellent porn mustache going.
Yes.
well, you know, I trimmed it up because I had the stubble going here too, but I got a haircut last week.
Oh,
Very handsome.
So yeah, I made myself look a little more presentable.
there you go.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Jamie, I want to dip.
Whoa. Oh, you want to dip that?
Ooh.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay,
I
so-
have all my lulls, but like, I like having side toys,
Yeah.
right?
Side piece.
Yeah.
Why not? You got to have a side hustle somewhere.
Yeah, man.
Okay. So the guy who did the swirl on the attitude, you can look him up on Facebook. His page is Robo Swirls, ROBO Swirls. His name is Roger Bowler, BOLER. He's in Ohio.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And so I just basically sent him the body. Just tell him that I told you, and he'll take care of it. He did. It takes like 8 or 9 weeks for it to actually cure, but I mean, it's well worth the wait.
I mean, I'm in no rush, obviously,
Yeah,
right now with everything going on, you know.
Mhm.
I mean, as it is, I've got lulls in the works right now. So,
Yep.
plural.
You need to swirl one of those.
You have 2 coming, right?
Yeah, well, one of them I can't do because I'll get into it at a later date. Why?
Mm.
There are certain colors for that, but and the other one is
Needs to be pink.
well, it's close to that. It's
Come on, baby.
transparent orange.
I like it.
So
That's a nice color.
yeah, transparent orange. So I
Nice.
eat it. Well, guys, this is really good. Andy, let's wrap up with some socials, right?
Yes, Jamie,
Mhm.
give us your where people can find you, and I'll
Okay.
tag it. I'll put it on there too. But just let the people know. Let us know.
So there's 2 places easily that I can be found. Well, there's 3 if you count Instagram. Instagram is just Pink Bassman.
Okay.
On Facebook, it's Pink Bassman Music. That's my page.
Okay.
And then YouTube again, youtube.com/bass Jaymi, BASSJAYMI.
Nice.
Those are the easy ones.
Yeah, that's cool. And like I said, I'll put little text under your face there, and it'll be all fancy. Yeah,
Fancy.
dude, this has been rad, man. This is really cool. Our I know there's no tour dates and stuff, but any plans traveling or anything that you have, or
for now, I am comfortable doing studio stuff because I've done it for years anyway.
Cool.
So everybody's just sending me stuff.
That's fantastic.
Okay, we'll do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I'm working on a couple things. I've got my own music in the works. There's actually a video out there. It's on my my YouTube page. The band is called Innocent Monday, and I did a song out there called Left Behind. It's out there. I think I put it out in January. It's actually produced by Mark Slaughter.
Nice.
So he played guitar on it too, just for fun. And so that's kind of an adventure unto itself. There'll be some more stuff coming there. I'm doing a side project with a guy doing progressive rock, which ought to be interesting. Because, you know, again, going back to, you know, where we were years ago, Yes, Rush, Gentle Giant, Kansas, all that stuff.
Cool.
It all dials in.
That's
So,
awesome, man.
there you have it.
It's time for good music. You know, it's time for something that's going to shake you and grab you, and people can sink their minds into now. I think it's a great time for prog music. I really do. You know,
I did a record with some guys years ago like that called Evership, Evership. And it sounds like a cross between Kansas, Queen, and like Black Sabbath.
Love it.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay.
It's all kinds. It's all over the map, but it's pretty interesting. It comes from the brain of one guy.
Very cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's time for this, you know. I mean, when times are great and everything, it's, wow, sure, the 3.5-minute pop song's great, but you know what? I think it's time for us to dive into some heavy stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
I agree.
Real musicianship, real music. That's needed.
You know?
Yep.
Pull some people away.
Yeah. All right. At this time, we say goodbye to the public and we stay on as long as I don't hang up on everybody like I've.
It wouldn't be the first time. So.
No, it wouldn't be the first time. So, hey, let's say goodbye to the public. Bye, everybody. But all of us.
Goodbye, public.
Bye, public.
Bye, public.
You're the best. Thanks for being on. But hang on.
You got it.
We're going to talk shit.